everybody, it's the one and only Brooklyn. Yes, honey, and I am here with the beautiful, oh my God. Introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are, even though I do, they do, they need to know.
Good afternoon, evening, everyone. It's me, Kamelah Blair, otherwise known as CEO to my friends on Instagram, or British royalty to the streets. I'm here in grace of my lovely Miss Brooklyn.
And I love her, boo. About your event and how you came about putting it together.
So my event, the Authors Convention Meet Greet Read, was put together because I found that me being an author and having a publishing company, that there wasn't a lot for our community. And then because I published, in the pandemic, I published 14 books. Who I published, they didn't have platform because of the pandemic to go anywhere to like network or to have book launch and such. So I just said, okay, you know what, this is the first of many.
So when you wanted to be, how did you come about saying, you know what, I want to become an author?
So this actually goes back to Brookview. Shout out Brookview Bulldogs. In my journals, my teacher said to me is, you should always write a book. And then the same thing happened in high school. Shout out Westview. And then the same thing was said to me in college in business English at George Brown. Shout out George Brown. And then when I did my upgrading at Humber, I was like, okay, I know what you're going to say, miss. I should write a book. Right? So even as a child, I like to write. Just to keep my feelings to myself, I always used to write in a journal. At one point, I ended up going to therapy in 2016, and my therapist also said, and I stopped him, I know what you're going to say. I should write a book. I took it in consideration because I had so much time. As you know, I'm always busy. But because of the pandemic, I had so much time. I was like, I should write that book. So on July 23rd, 2020, I released my first book as a surprise. No one knew what I was doing, not even my children in the house. And I released the book. And at the time, I could tell you, Brooklyn, that it was so therapeutic. In the moment when I opened the curtains, I felt a load come off my body, like I was holding a bag of milk and potatoes, and I let it down. And from that day, I'm not the same person.
That's why I love you, you know, because she's a jack of all trades, and yes. I love that. And being a mother, being an author, being an entrepreneur, how do you balance that for people like myself or other inspiring young women coming up? How do you balance being a mom and an author?
And I get this question a lot. I believe that we all have the same 24 hours, but we all don't have the same purpose. And some people haven't found their purpose yet. Because I found my purpose, I know that I have to share it with the world, because a girl like me is tired now. I need y'all to come and do what I've been doing. Not in the same fashion, but just to be the leader. We're coming from a place where we're dirt, we're nothing. So I feel like when I even go into my middle school and I stand up and I say, I'm coming from Driftwood, I'm coming from down the lane, I'm coming from on the Jane Strip, and if I can do it, you can.
Okay, what is one thing people don't know? Because I'm from the lane as well, but what is one thing people don't know about the Jane Strip?
One thing I would say that people really don't know about Jane Strip is that it might not look this way, but we're so loving and we're so creative. I believe that most talent that you see coming from the Jane, it's just pure talent. Just creativity at its best is from Jane and Finch. Cartel sing what we know?
I know that. You know, but tell me that. Okay. All right. Cartel, baby.
All right.
Yeah. So I know that before you were an author, you were also doing your stuff in the dancehall scene as well.
Right.
And you know, a lot of people may say, you know what, she can't put on an event. She can't. How hard is it to put on an event? Because she used to do money over mix-up, y'all. But how is it to put on an event, like a different event like this, opposed to like a reggae event?
Absolutely. So the transition from dancehall to private event to now corporate event, it was hard in a sense that, and there's no disrespect, it's not the same crowd. We're dealing with different crowds, we're dealing with different lingo, we're dealing with different language, we're dealing with different bodies of people, and I think that was the only problem. As you know, you're part of the first money over mix-up. So even if even if I was doing something, I could honestly sit here saying, you know this, I was the first to do a motorcade. That's from Jamaica time. You know, big up TG,
Yes.
right? So we brought motorcade, we bought T-shirts, we bought CDs. So it was just taking what I knew from dancehall Jamaica style and bringing it to Toronto, and then just elevating it.
So do you say that did it help you? Did you say that you doing the dancehall events help you now in what you're doing now with the corporate and
Absolutely, because it's planning. I know that we had a conversation again for something that you have coming up, and it's planning is key. And you cannot plan. It can happen in a week, sorry, but it's not going to be amazing. You want it to be amazing. If you're keeping the event, you start planning 4 to 5 months ahead, and you cover all your I's. You dot all your all your I's. You cross all your T's, and you get everything done before your guests are there. And it just practice make perfect.
Absolutely. So before we go, I just wanted to know, how were you able to, because me know you not about the nonsense.
Not about it.
And you know you like to do your research before you allow people to come to your events and be part of your event. So I know you probably had so many people wanted to be a part of the event, but I know you'll probably have a next one. How did you break it down to have just like the amount of people that you had today?
So yes, I'm glad you picked that up, that it was very difficult for me to do a handful. Part of that was Mr. Ford said, Mr. Trudeau said, we're still in a pandemic. It might change next week. So that was it, keeping the numbers. Another thing is because I'm a part of 2 book clubs, right? I wanted to include them first because we speak to each other every morning, Grand Rising, how's your day, and if there's an issue. So I wanted to deal with people who are my book club first. And then my family and friends who wrote a book, I'd rather deal with them first and then deal with the general public.
Okay, so does that mean, I know you don't like to speak on things, but that kind of sounds like we're about to have a part 2.
Yes, the Authors Convention is going to be, I want to have it 3 or 4 times a year in the same portions. I feel when it's too big, it's not as intimate. So we're keeping it in the numbers that we had it today. And because I also had launched the other 5 books in the pandemic, it also gave people who bought the books on Amazon a chance for them to come today, bring it, and I can sign it for them.
But some people, the fact that you were able to write so many books during the pandemic, a lot of people, you know, went through a lot when the pandemic hit, whether it was financially, mentally, all of that. What is some advice for that you want to give to others when it comes to, you know, they're in a stage where they feel like, you know what, something hit me hard, I don't know how I'm going to get over this. What is your advice to people?
My advice was, you have the time. A lot of people's excuse was, I don't have time. Now the world gave us the time. And even though there's the outside world pressures, lock off the world and just put everything you have to do into your purpose and get it done.
I love her. I just love her. So before we go, yes, the last thing. Her outfit was inspired by
Miss Peggy Bundy herself.
Yes, but you
Peggy Bundy
you
herself.
gave a little hint.
Yeah, with a little hint of Hillary
Look
Banks.
at that.
A little hint of Hillary Banks.
Yes, look at that. No, please get the outfit.
No, it's there.
I
there.
love
it's
it.
Speaking. It's giving.
It is giving.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, and lastly but not least, I know you have 2 amazing kings.
Yes.
And I know you said coming from the Jane, and how hard was it? Because I know being on the Jane especially, how hard was it raising 2 amazing kings to police not know who the hell they are. No. They're not into no foolery that's out here. They respect women.
Yes.
And they're very, very, like, I don't know, their posture, everything about them is just so nice and neat.
They have to.
So how was it for you?
So for me, it always was, I took what I knew as growing up. And I grew up as a tomboy. And I know what you're supposed to do from what you're not supposed to do. And I know what a man is. So the statistic says a woman can't raise a man. True, not so true. I raised 2 amazing kings because I don't play. I don't reward bad behavior. And I don't keep up with the foolishness. I'm a woman. I know how a woman wants to be treated. So I had to put that practice in from, them said bend the root from it young. Yes, I lived in the hood, but I took it as an experience for them. As they were getting older, it was time for me to pull them from that. So now they know the street life of what is and what you're not to be.
I love that. I love that. And you're an amazing mother.
Thank you so much.
A phenomenal woman.
Thank you.
Just let everybody know when your book club is. If anybody wants to be a part of that, I do. I love reading books. But sometimes morning time in not really like the morning. But please let everybody know your handles where we can find you. And
definitely. So you can find me at Chronicles _ of Jane on Instagram, on Twitter, and Facebook.
Yes. And as you guys can see, an amazing event. I'm going to be sitting down with some amazing authors, but thank you so much for being a part of this.
You're welcome.
And go take off your boots so me know that you're ready.
I'm taking off the hilarization outfit. Thank you so much, Brooklyn.
All right. Love you too. All right.
Let us know your thoughts below and hit that notification bell after subscribing. Visit wwetvn.com to check out this worldwide exclusive.